This week, we start off in the Scottish west coast town of Ayr, before we head east to explore some more of the Fife coasts. We go searching for castles and kilns and find an amazing old harbour full of decaying boats. This is Rozelle Park, and like a lot of these parks, it was once a rich family's private estate, but now it is owned by the local authority, I think, and open to the public, which means there'll be a big house somewhere and inevitably a cafe. Told you, that is Rozelle House. Oh, there's a squirrel. Tell De Niro there's a squirrel. We'll send him a picture of it. Not a bad wee residence, that is it? That's quite a nice house. Let's see what we can see. There's a sign up above the door that probably says something interesting. It says, the estate and mansion house were gifted on 1968 by Lieutenant Commander John Hamilton, retired, to the Royal Borough. Yeah, there you are. So it is owned by the local authority. Oh, Bex has gone in. She's probably gone rushing straight up to the museum. No, she's gone straight down to the tea room. That's a bit of a dungeon. Tea room first. That was quite a nice breakfast. The place was full of children, so no filming. But this is the little sort of vestibule bit, and they've got some arty stuff here. It's an art gallery here as well as other things. No complaints. A bit of art won't kill you. What this little display in here is actually young artists predicting the future of Rozelle House. I'm not quite sure how she fits in, but there's Rozelle House, and there's some flying cars. So young artists with not much imagination. Flying cars. That is so 1970s. Actually, do you remember that back in television programmes in the 60s and 70s, the future was always like way in the future. In the year 2000, we'll all be going about in flying cars. I wonder what happened to that. As well as the art in the museum behind me, there's all sorts of little bits dotted about. This tree stump's quite cool, isn't it? There's a squirrel and a bird and a thistle and some oak leaves and stuff. Yeah, quite liking this. There's also little bits of sort of wicker woven art dotted about. We saw them when we were doing the park run. There's Peter Pan, Captain Hook and all sorts of stuff. And just to show how bang up to date it is comparatively, there is, that's a hat from Harry Potter, isn't it? The sorting hat? I don't actually know, but I think that's what that is. And there's another one. I don't have to tell you what that is, obviously, but that is what that is. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. Two Labradors having some zoomies, and they've got like cowbells on them. They're now behind that tree, so you can't see them. That's a waste of time. There they are, dogs with bells. So cool. They are quite loud, and they're also totally ignoring anybody telling them to go back. Brilliant. Bex is wandering back to Daisy because she knows next up we're going to go into Ayr for a wee look around. Okay, it may involve charity shops. We've come into Ayr, and I think if you want to sum Ayr up in one little phrase, it would be, it's seen better days. It has got a picturesque town centre, as you can see there. Isn't that just lovely? This is a bit grim. It's really a bit grim. Charity shop. Not optimistic. Record collection, sound of brass. No, nothing exciting in there at all. Aww. Harry Seacombe. Bexy's lad is a bit obsessed with his mobile phone, so there you are. That's his Christmas sorted from a charity shop. How cool is that?
Is it three?
Taking your 3 rabbits to the shops. Yeah, brilliant. So those rabbits, that lady in that shop, that's with her rabbits. She takes them to work with her in her little carriage.
3 rabbits in her buggy.
That is
and
brilliant.
The rabbits had toys and blankets and everything.
Yes, happy rabbits.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is apparently the Wallace Tower. That is the Wallace Tower Hall behind it. That is so smart. I'm guessing the statue up there is supposed to be Wallace. William Wallace, that is. Not the plasticine man from Wallace and Gromit. Apart from the Wallace building, there wasn't a great deal to show you in Ayr. Or maybe there was, we just didn't really get the vibe for staying about. So what we did, we jumped in Daisy and headed back east to show you some parts of the Fife coast that you probably haven't seen before. Starting off in the shadow of the Forth Bridges in the town of Rosyth. Rosyth is a fairly typical sort of dock town. There's lots and lots of docks and stuff, and there's also some old history, but a lot of it you can't get to. For example, behind me, that is Rosyth Castle, and I'll do this till security come and move me on, because I don't suppose you're really supposed to film the dockyard, but yeah, that is Rosyth Castle. We might as well go around and see if we can get a closer look. As you can see, there is quite a substantial fence. It's amazing that Rosyth Castle survived at all. Once upon a time it was on a wee island, but as there's been lots of land reclamation going on around here to build the dockyards, it's now sitting inside the docks. When you first see it, it's behind this massive security fence, and there's lots of signs saying private property, no trespassing. But if you walk round to the side of the fence beside where the security man sits, instead of coming out and shouting go away or I'll call the police, he actually tells you on you go in there, but be careful on the grass, it's a bit slippy. What a nice man. Although it's obviously a ruin, it is surprising how much this castle has survived. There is still the tower house and the remains of these outbuildings, which are quite interesting. As you know, we're not a history blog, so if you want to find out more about Rosyth Castle, Wikipedia is the place to go, but look at that. That is a magnificent tower house, 3 stories and an attic.
public, apparently, but unfortunately you can't get in.
That was really cool. Thank you so much to the security guard who let me go for a look round the castle in spite of the big keep out sign. I wonder what lies behind that massive oak door. Probably lots of pigeons and not much else. We're now going to head a little bit along the coast, which is actually quite a big detour because you've got to go all the way around the dockyards that look a bit like this from the old satellite view. I would put the drone over the castle, but I'd almost definitely get arrested or, as the military base near here, possibly shot. So, himself and I are now down on the other side of Rosyth. We've come around the dockyard to this little beach that I did not know was here. And over there is the village of Limekilns that we'll go and have a look at. But first of all, we're going to take a walk to an old church. And I say a walk because there's no road. So De Niro is quite happy. He's dying to get down on the beach or go and play with the other doggies, but no, might not get him back. Look at the size of that stick. I think there will definitely be some exploring to be done today. This is going to be a good day, I think. That over in front of us is obviously the dockyard, and that is a sign that says Wargraves. So let's go in here for a wee look. De Niro is keen to get in and see what is to be found. Let's go for a wee look round, see if we can find an age for things. I think this looks like it's quite an old one though, or certainly mixed. Let's find out. The inhabitants of Limekilns and Charlestown are again called upon to record their gratitude in capital letters to the Right Honourable Thomas Bruce, Earl of Elgin and Kincardine, for his lordship's second generous gift of a piece of ground. So the biggest memorial in this place is not to somebody that's buried here, it's to the man that gave him the bit of ground. And that means that it's all going to be 1800s or later, so yeah, it's still probably worth a wee look. And there's a Euphemia. I don't know what it is about that name, I just like the name Euphemia. Let's go and have a look at the old church and see if it's older over there. And with a greyhound for scale, yeah, this is 17 something in this corner, so there are some older bits here. That's the church, it looks a bit derelict. 1757 for David Bewley, I think that says. Okay, that's we're not doing lots and lots of graveyardy stuff, we're just having a wee look round, and we're going to go and have a look at Limekilns, where we might even find some, believe it or not, Limekilns. There's a sign over there that says, persons entering this building do so at... Oh no, we can't, it's an emergency. De Niro is now incapacitated, he can't move. De Niro, just lift your leg over the... Yay! Dunfermline District Council, persons entering, climbing on this building do so at their own risk. It's pretty well boarded up, you can't get in anyway. Oh dear, it is zoomy time. We just walked around and made sure there's no there's no other way out. De Niro, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, he does love a wee run for no particular reason, for the sheer joy of it. Come on then mate, let's go and see if we can find that wargrave we were looking for. Sorry, this is becoming a bit of a graveyard explorer. That one there's 1790, that one there is 1789. And that one there says 1635. That can't be 1635. It says 1635. 4 rooms. I have no idea. James Addison and Margaret Adamson. Yeah, 4 rooms. And over there I see a distinctive shape with its back to me. Private Wiley from the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders from the First World War. And somebody's decided they're just going to stand about looking cute. There it is again. Sorry, we're just about at the gate. We're actually leaving, as De Niro is trying to indicate there. 1823, William Morris and Christian Hall. 2 rooms. Is that like 2 layers, do you think? I've got no idea. Just checked on the Wargraves website and there's actually 2 Wargraves in there, so I have to come back one day and look for the other one. It's just an excuse to come back, basically. There's some nice houses over there, eh? Some quite large properties with a fairly impressive sea view. I love the rustic old boat sheds. Look at the pantiles on the roof. That's really quite pretty. And then there's something modern over there. I think this is like for scouting, for the Boy Scouts. And then over there there's a harbour, which is where we are heading now. I like a nice wee harbour, and this is a very nice wee harbour. Although I am starting to wonder where the Limekilns actually are. I should have checked. They might not even be here anymore. It might be some sort of historic name. You know what I mean, historic name. A name for something that isn't here anymore. Anyway, let's walk out this little jetty and see what's at the end of it. I'm guessing probably nothing. Oh, you better not tell Bex. Nah, I can't. She would kill me. That would just be one-upmanship with Willie and Sarah from Living the Sky Life, that would. I'll tell you what you do get from down here. You get a cracking view of the Forth Bridges. There's the Queensferry Crossing and the Forth Road Bridge and the Forth Rail Bridge. That's quite nice. And the docks in front of it, which are not quite so nice. But they're not quite as bad as Over there, that is Grangemouth petrochemical plant, which is, yeah, you can imagine. Yeah. Look, can you believe it? The sun's coming out. But it's also getting a bit windy, which might scupper the drone activity. And if you don't like the wee jetty over there for your wee yachts, you can come across here. This is Limekilns Pier, which is quite chunky. It was once a major source of industry. There was lime getting exported and things getting imported. And over there behind it, that is the village of Limekilns, which is quite pretty. I don't think I've been here before. Let's go and see what we can see. And another nice wee beach. It's a nice wee place, this. Most of these Fife seaside villages are, well, apart from Methil. This pier is one of those sources of local pride, and local people want to get it all fixed up, and it looks like it needs quite a lot of fixing up because the sea has reclaimed quite a big chunk of it. There's something we do have in Methil. These baskets are dotted about all around the coastline, and they were for lighting beacons to celebrate special occasions like the Queen's Golden Jubilee and stuff. Still no sign of an actual lime kiln. Let's go and find a lime kiln, shall we? So we've come along to Charlestown, which is another half a mile along the coast, and there's yet another nice wee harbour with some yachts in it. I came along here because there are lime kilns here, and if you've got a lime kiln in your head, it's a sort of something the size of a very small house. It's, you know, used to burn lime to produce material for building and stuff. Well, wait until you see this one. That is definitely not the size of a very small house. Look at the work that's gone into that. That is massive. May have done a bit of an excited squeak when I saw that. It looks like all of the actual kilns are all sort of fenced off and gated off, which is good. I suppose it keeps the miscreants out. But yeah, that is the inside of a lime kiln. So much work. If you found a castle like this, you'd be so excited. But because of a lime kiln, it's like, yeah, that's not as good. Well, I beg to differ. They must have left at least one of these open for the incurably inquisitive like me. So this is the largest lime kiln in Scotland, and it was built in the 1750s. It used to produce over a third of the country's lime, which was used at home and abroad for agriculture and construction and stuff. And if you're wondering how I know all of that, I am of course reading it on that sign. And there's a picture of what it looked like when it was in full swing. They just cowped in limestone, burnt coal and produced quicklime, and then it went from there just over there. That's the harbour from which it was all exported. This is, yeah, I am loving this place. You'll have to bear with me because I'm going to try and be artistic here, but you know when you see pictures of cathedrals with sort of light shining through the windows and you get the shapes on the floor? Well, here we just walked along past all those arches, and there's a very, very similar effect, which I think is, I just saw this and did a little sort of wow, but hopefully this will work on the camera. Get a look at that. That's the light just shining in there is, yeah, that is really, really nice. The sheer amount of work that must have gone into building this thing, it's just incredible. I'm guessing up the top is where they did the burning, and that's possibly where the lime came out. I don't know, I'm making it up. We had one nice person tell me to get my facts right on a comment, so yeah, I'm not very good at getting facts right. Take everything I say as a guess as opposed to a fact, and we'll all get on much better. So those ones are all closed off. We're looking for kiln at number 11, which is the one that has been renovated. That's another wee room in there, and this is, yeah, I think it's all fenced off. Still, it's no less interesting for that. I'm quite glad I came along here now. Although one thing that does spring to mind just now, this is a very nice, very peaceful, very sort of calm and quiet and pleasant area. I bet when this thing was belching out however many kilns worth of black smoke and burnt coal and fumes and reek, I'll bet it was absolutely disgusting. But that's true of the Industrial Revolution in general, and this part of the world was very big in the Industrial Revolution. This fuelled Scotland's Industrial Revolution. You've got coal fields, you've got lime works, you've got agriculture, you've got money coming in hand over fist. I think the ones that we saw further along looked quite expensive. These ones look much more, affordable, and that one can't sink anymore because it's already sitting on the bottom. One last look at the lime kilns. Go on, why not? Definitely the discovery of today. In fact, one of the best discoveries ever. That looks absolutely amazing. More discreet and understated houses behind me. I bet they weren't there when the lime kiln was spewing out its filth. Right, let's go for an explore of the harbour. There are lots of boats here that seem to have just been dumped. I don't know if this is like a boat graveyard where you can leave them without having to pay anybody, or I don't know. I mean, that one there looks not bad. There's a little mobility scooter. That one there looks much more affordable. Some of these look quite nice. I mean, none of them look like they're exactly ready to go sailing in immediately, but yeah, good fun. I'd quite like a boat one day. I don't want to get all waxing lyrical on you, but I like it when boats start to like rot. There's a little blue one there, and in front of that there's just the ribs. It does look like the ribs of some animal. I always find that fascinating how these things are put together. I've just noticed there's another wee sunk boat over there. There's so many boats here that are never leaving. Ah, what does that say? That says harbour closed, please contact the estate office. Okay, so it is actually no longer a harbour. I did see they've got a boom across between the two piers there at the entrance, so I'm guessing that means if you're in, you're not getting out. This morning the weather was looking a bit variable, but it's actually turned out quite nice. I'm having quite a nice day. I hope you're enjoying this wee explore of another part of the coast of Fife. One day I'm going to run out of bits of the coast of Fife to show you, and then we're really in trouble. Let's head out along this wee jetty thing, if we can get along this wee jetty thing. That one there looks quite cool. It's got quite a modern looking wind turbine up on top. I wonder if that's actually there's somebody in that. That would be quite scary. I don't think so, because it's not very intact, but the turbine looks newer than the rest of the boat. And another sinkhead boat. This is bizarre. This is really weird. This jetty, such as it is, has seen the better days as well. Yeah, this looks to be about as far as you can get safely. Oh, there's an engine block down there. Do I want to go along there and see if I can make it that far? If I fall, it's going to be a bit cold and wet and a big splash. And if a YouTuber falls into the sea and no one's there to film it, did he actually fall into the sea? That's a big bit of wood as well. That looks like the side of a ship. I'm not sure if it is or if it's just like a floating pontoon or something. Don't know. Pretty cool. If any beach cleanup people fancy a wee job, this could do with a bit of a cleanup. Look at all the rubbish that's gathered down there. Oh, danger. We laugh in the face of danger. Let's go out this wee jetty as well then. I doubt there'll be anything else to see apart from more old boats, but hey ho. I wonder what her story is. Ended her days here just rotting away to nothing. Some of them look not bad. That wee thing down there and the Annabelle down there, they look like they're in not bad nick, but some of them look like they are some of them have actually sunk. Like that poor old girl over there, she has had it. The next village along this little bit of coast we're actually going to skip, because the next village is spelled C-U-L-R-O-S, but it's pronounced Curus, and you've probably heard of it because everybody with a YouTube channel ever has done it. And it's all people wafting about and willowing about and saying, oh look how lovely this is, it's all so oldie worldy, and yeah, blah blah blah. You've seen Kuros, so we're going to give it a skip and find something that you haven't seen. How's that for a plan? We will do Kuros one day, we'll have to. I mean, it's obligatory, but not today. No, absolutely was not going to stop again until I got to our next destination, but then, yeah, had to. We're heading for a place called Torryburn, and this is, believe it or not, Torryburn Cemetery, which is quite modern, but it does have a war grave sign on the gate, so it would have been rude not to stop. It's also built on quite a slope, so I might fall over. That's it. That is Sergeant Patterson, an air gunner from 1944, and I think he is the only one in here, so you'll be glad to hear we are now going to head down to Torryburn. Well, whether you're glad to hear it or not doesn't matter, because that's what we're doing. I stopped too soon. If I'd gone another half a mile along the road, I would have found this graveyard, which looks much more interesting, but that is not something for today. I will definitely have to come back, but I will show you that one over there if you don't mind. Look at that. It's got something like 9517. Anyway, it's got a face, which isn't a skull, and it's got a corn, not cob, you know, a corn thing, you know, tied up, and then some crossbones at the bottom. That's really cool. Right, anyway, that's enough graveyards for this episode. Definitely coming back to that one though. I did not know this was still a thing, that you can go wildfowling on the foreshore in Scotland. So you bring your shotgun down and blow defenceless little birdies to bejesus. And De Niro, have you read this sign? Oh, you read the sign? Well-behaved dogs welcome. Are you going to behave well? Of course you are. The tide is presently on its way out, so we should be able to see what we came here to find, which would be nice. And that's what we've come here to see. This is the grave of Lilias Eddy, who lived 1640 to 1704, who was executed as a witch. And after they executed her, they buried her on the foreshore under a big slab of rock, so she couldn't come back. And that big stone slab out there is what they put on top of Lilias's grave to stop her from rising from the dead, to stop the devil from bringing her back. Why is it so well known? Well, it's the only witch's grave in Scotland that has got a name attached to it. But unfortunately, she's not actually there anymore. She was dug up in the 1800s by a collector, basically, and her skull did the rounds of museums and stuff before it finally went missing. So no idea where it is now, but that is her burial place there. And if you want to find out more about witches in Scotland, we'll wait for our special Halloween episode if it actually comes off. It's another nice wee place. Right, we're going to keep going along the coast now. We're going to, as I said before, skip Kouros and go and find something else to show you good people. Sorry, it might be more industrial stuff, but it's old industrial stuff, so it's interesting. Are now heading into a place called Preston Island, which is a nature reserve these days, but it used to be, again, a hive of industry. There's salt pans and ash pits and all sorts of stuff. I'm thinking there's a visit to the old maps coming on, because I think this looks like an old railway line. Did you know that we have a Patreon where for £3 a month you can help keep Bex in coffee and scones? If you head over to patreon.com you can get a free trial and you can see all the stuff that's up there already. There's lots of little bits and pieces and the odd full-length episode that isn't really suited to the main channel, but we still quite like. And De Niro would like to remind you that we also have a Ko-fi page where if you want you can go and you can buy him a biscuit. And if you buy De Niro a biscuit, he will be your best friend for as long as it takes to eat the biscuit. Yeah, still thinking old railway line, and over there is a new air railway line that used to take coal to the power station at Longannet that is now all shut down, I think. We're doing all this walking and exploring. I keep forgetting to start my watch so I can record the mileage that I've done. Oops. I was hoping for some more nice views, but so far all it is trees on both sides. This is an island. Eventually we will see the sea. This is, to be fair, proving to be a lot less interesting than I thought it was going to. But that lack of interest means that there's nobody here, so De Niro can have a wee sniff about on his own. He was being a good boy, now he's decided he'd rather go for a bit of a run. One day he's going to do this and realise he doesn't actually have to come back because he is much faster than me. If he decides he's not coming back, I can't catch him. De Niro, do that again. De Niro, I wasn't filming it, can you do it again? Go on, bounce. No, he's not going to do it again. He just leapt from basically the other side of that hill over to here, and now he's not going to do it. But remember kids, never let your greyhound off its lead. Oh well, this may not be the most overwhelmingly amazing place we've ever visited so far, but at least we're doing better than Bex, because Bex is at her work. We are following the path on the island circular route, and I've realised that it stops at this gate. Hopefully you can get through over that way, otherwise it's not quite as circular as they would have you believe. Definitely something of a post-industrial wasteland vibe about this place. I do hope we get to find something interesting quite soon, otherwise I've just walked around in circles for an hour for no reason. Which, don't get me wrong, is brilliant for me and De Niro, but probably doesn't make for great television. This is getting more exciting. Over there, you can't see them, but I think through those trees there might be some lagoons, but there's a fence also, so there must be something on this path. Must be. Yes, I know, apart from you, obviously. Here's a gate that is down this way. I think this might just be down to a bird hide. Come on in, De Niro, through you come. That looks like a bird hide, yeah, it's got birds on it. So at least it'll be something for me to talk about, because there's nothing anywhere else. Yeah, so this is, it's some sort of lagoon type arrangement. Not quite sure what that's for, not really interested, to be honest. Just want to find something worth showing you. I was just coming around there and thought, there is nothing here to see, this is awful, and then over there I saw there is a something, so we're going to go and look at that something. I have spent the last half hour wittering, but that's for our patrons. I'll put it up on patreon.com because it'll just, it was complaining about how long this path was, mostly. Wow, okay, colour me unexpected. I am not sure what that is, but I didn't expect to see it. Let's go and find out. There's some signs down there that'll tell us. I'll have to get the bleep thing out, because now I'm going to say that is Preston Island salt pans, and they are bleepity 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 bleep fenced off. That's I want to go and have a look, and I can't because it's all fenced off. Looks like there are holes in the fence, but no. Put this on YouTube, people will say you went through a hole in the fence. That is a really nice place. It's such an atmospheric old ruin. It's a pity that you can't get into it. Apparently in 1813 there were 4 people employed here making the salt, and it would have been quite a big business because salt was needed to preserve food in the days before refrigeration. I'll not tell you how many attempts it took me to say the word refrigeration, shall I? So that over there is the 4 houses, and over there is the Gurnall and Bondage store. And that was housing for the staff on site. And that is the Lady Pit. So I wonder if that means that the coal was actually mined on site. You know, the coal comes from here and the salt comes from, the sea was just over there. There's been lots of land reclamation going on, or dumping of rubbish, one of the two. Either way, there used to be a jetty just the far side of the salt pans. So let's go around there and have a look and see if there's anything left of that. I kind of wish I'd brought the drone, but I think as soon as I get up above those trees over there, it would be flying backwards. And if it comes down the other side of that fence, it would not be easy to get back. somebody does look after it, because all the grass in there is cut, and it's cut on this path around the edge as well. So yeah, it's still maintained. I don't know why they don't let you into these things. It's not as if, well, actually, I'm speaking for myself when it says it's not as if you're going to damage it, but there's a lot of people that might, I suppose. The sign back there said it was last used in the 19th century as a whisky still, an illegal whisky still. The illicit still was only discovered because somebody over on the mainland smelt a smell, and that smell was the rang reek. The rang what? Oh, that'll be time for the return of our word of the day. Here's an interesting fact of history, and it's wrong. It says there the last Scottish salt was produced in Preston Pans, which is on the other side of the River Forth, in 1959. That's not true, because out at St Morin's, a guy has started up a salt works, so he is making salt in Scotland again. So these lagoons must be something to do with Longannet Power Station, I guess. I wonder if where they dumped all of the ash from that, possibly. So it's really accidental land reclamation. They're just looking for somewhere to dump their rubbish. Across in Methil, or Buckhaven, technically, there's actually an entire village buried under a big ash pile. I'll have to take you around there one day. There's nothing to see, it's all fenced off, but it's an interesting story. People moved out so they have somewhere to dump some of their industrial cack.
Well, that was a nice wee walk around the island, but now it's time to head back towards Methil, hopefully avoiding the local constabulary.
I came out the way, and that lay-by had lots of police cars stopping vans and lorries and stuff. I know Daisy's okay, but you still think, eek! And as I head back for Methil and Bex, that is that for this week's wee episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this look at some of the sort of industrial history of this rather pretty area, and don't worry, there's still lots to see, but we will definitely be back.